Hi there guys, welcome to my cooking class. I'm super excited today because I don't know about you, but I've been frantically running around trying to get organized for the season, and I just thought it might be really cool if I just showed you how easy it is to make homemade soup, thinking out of the box and trying something a little new. So I'm going to share my fun food facts in a minute because we need to get cracking, okay? And no, we're not talking eggs. Anyway, today I'm going to be using potatoes. So the best potato to use for this is russet potatoes. Russets are absolutely amazing. So if you can find them in the grocery store, these are my favorite of choice. Now, you probably have noticed how nice, this is our Y peeler, how nice it is in your hand, but look at how effortless it is to peel this potato. Every kitchen should have one, if not two of these. I'm not kidding. This is probably the best vegetable peeler I've had in literally years. Now, if you do have a potato that has some blemishes or some inferior areas, make sure you use our ceramic knife. As you can see, it comes with a sheath to protect the blade. You just slide it in and slide it out. But this is really good for just cutting off those additional little areas. The other thing is, if you have potatoes that have eyes, and yes, potatoes have eyes, this actually has edges, and you may have wondered, what are those edges for? Well, these are just really built right in here to literally just pop the eyes right out without having to lose all those really good flavors of that potato, because sometimes your potatoes have so many eyes, you lose half the potato in it. So that's why this is created this way. So do yourself a huge favor. Get one or a few of these. Okay, so now that we've got our potato peeled, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna chop this up. My dog's heading to the door. I can only imagine it's a delivery system, and they're going to be barking happening in just a matter of seconds. Sometimes I wonder, why did I call my dog Barkley? I should have called her Quiet, Fluffy, Cuddles, but no, I called her Barkley, and she barks a lot. My vet, a really good friend of mine, warned me, if you're getting a Maltese poodle, Maltese tend to bark a lot. I thought I could control my dog. Clearly, I cannot. Okay, so here we go. We've got one potato. And what I'm going to do here is I'm using my flexible cutting board. Really nice to just drop that in there. We're gonna have two russet potatoes. These are quite large potatoes, so you can decide how much potatoes you want to use. These, I may have overkill here, but potatoes don't do well if they're not cooked. They can go black even. So I might as well cook them all up. It's gonna make for a really meaty chowder, because today we're making chowder. All right. Chop these up a little bit better here. And we are going to stick this in our steamer in the microwave. Could you do this on the stove? Yes, you could. It'll take forever. Hence, I don't have the time for that, which is why I love our multi-purpose steamer. It comes in two different sizes. I'm going to show you the round size I'm using today. So this is our round steamer. Love, love, love it. So we're going to just drop our potatoes in. Now, normally we would not add any liquid to this, but because we're actually making a soup, we are totally adding water. And I am going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to shove this in my microwave. Depending on your microwave, you're going to put this in from anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so while that's cooking in the microwave, why don't we get the rest of our products organized? So what we're going to do now is we're going to start getting our base organized. And if you're wondering what kind of base I'm going to use, and I just realized I don't have my scissors in front of me. but I do now. These are our amazing scissors. These are super, super sharp, totally handy. Hide them from everyone else in the family. These are your kitchen shears. Anyway, what we're going to use today is we're going to use our home style chicken stew. I'm making a chowder. This does not have chicken in it. This is going to be our base. So with your scissors, make sure that you shake your product down so you're not losing a bunch. And in here, I've got light coconut milk. So this is gonna have a bit of a seafood flavoring to it with a base, okay? All right, so we've got a whisk here. And what we can do is we can just make sure that we get this mixed up nicely. This is a really good brand of coconut milk. You can see how thick it is. And even though it's a light coconut milk, it's a really good one. So not all coconut milks are created equally. Make sure you go check the label. That's one thing you're learning when you're hanging out with me and Epic here, is read the labels. It's not what they don't put in it, it's what they do. So if you go read those, the fine print, you're going to realize that Epicure is a far better opportunity for you to have healthy meals without all those extra items that are in there that you can't even pronounce. So the ingredients for this, now that I'm talking about it, is our thickener, which is cornstarch, cheddar cheese flavor. We also have inactive nutritional yeast, chives, sea salt, black pepper, and herbs. Exactly what you need to make chowder. So this is our base. So it's still in the microwave here. Now, what else am I adding to this? Well, we're gonna add some additional items. So about halfway through here, I'm gonna pop in some peas and some corn. If you don't have these, you can skip one or the other. If you only have one, you could throw additional things, like you could put pepper in it. I have actually used up all my pepper. There's no pepper in the house right now, but I had a can of corn and I had some frozen peas. So here we go, a little bit of both. So what can I share? Well, fun food facts. Are you ready? Okay, so we're making a chowder today. And of course, if you loosely translate where the word chowder comes from, it comes from the word, colander. Okay, you know, that's the witch's brew where they're stirring over the colander. So this is clearly a soup of sorts. Now, it became really, really popular in North America, hundreds of years ago. And in fact, it's the second most popular soup in North America. Of course, second only to chicken noodle soup, which is, I guess I'm making a play on this. I'm using a chicken stew as a base, so I'm trying to mash the two. Anyway, there's multiple different ways to make chowder, but one of the most popular ones is New England clam chowder from the Boston area. Yes, it's that creamy, thick, like this, creamy, thick chowder. It's got potatoes, onions, celery in it, and basically it is super, super popular, but that's the New England one. There is also a Manhattan clam chowder, which is of course a little bit lighter, and it's a tomato base. What I'm doing today is I'm totally switching it out because I'm not putting clams in it at all. I have some leftover shrimp, and I am making this a West Coast chowder. Totally West Coast. I mean, coconut, probably all the way from Hawaii, I would think. So it's totally a West Coast side of the spectrum. And I do want to let you know that the West Coast chowder really was started in Seattle. So you see, on the West Coast of the Pacific Ocean, the clams over on this side are quite small. and they're not as lush as they are over on the East Coast. So that's why a lot of the restaurateurs over on the West side sort of thought, oh my gosh, it's just so labor intensive to crack all those little tiny clams. Let's do something else. And of course, shrimp is very popular over here. So some actually skip seafood altogether. They just make a chowder with veggies and whatever, which is really healthy. And in fact, there is a really good, if you're looking for a really good restaurant in the San Francisco or Seattle area, there's a restaurant called Duke's Seafood and Chowder House, and he actually does serve real chowder, but he actually flies the amazing clams from the East Coast to his restaurant. So that's pretty cool. The most popular, or not the most popular, but the soup that got this all started came from a restaurant called Ye Old Union Oyster House. Now, you know this goes back a long, long time just by the name. Ye. When was the last time ye over there? I mean, it goes back to old colonial times, right? Ye Old Union. Unions, not so big anymore. So that would indicate it's been around for a long time. And since when have you seen a restaurant called a house? No. Now they're called restaurants or you know, some high-end name. Usually not Ye Old Oyster House. I will, one last thing, because this is almost ready for me to pull out. The last thing I do want to let you know is if you're really going to make clam chowder, to make it authentic, you need to find oyster crackers. Yes, that's what you're going to finish it off with. You're going to put oyster crackers on top. Now, I don't know. I have not seen oyster crackers. The only thing I could find even remotely close to oyster crackers, but only in shape, was those silly goldfish crackers. I would not be putting those on top. First, they're full of trans fats, like ye. But anyway, if you need to skip it, a great alternative would be get our Better Than Bacon topper. Okay, our Better Than Bacon topper. That's a thing that comes from the West Coast for the chowders. So let me just grab that chowder and let you show how that's turning out. Okay, so here is our steamer. Make sure that when you're pulling it off, I don't know if you can see the vents here, but always flip it this way. You can probably see the steams coming out here. So we've got our potatoes in here. We're gonna dump our corn. We're gonna dump our peas. And now we're gonna use one of our kitchen tools. I love this saute spoon, but we're literally going to just add this in. And we're gonna put it back in the microwave for about 2 to 3 minutes. Make sure you get all that flavor in there. Give it a little stir. And of course that base is going to thicken up, so the liquid that was in here, and the reason we put liquid in our potato is so that we have that nice creamy thick chowder happening. Okay, so just put it back in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes and we'll be right back. I do want to mention as well, give me 1 second, let me just get this in. We have a couple, sorry I popped off the screen there. So we have 2 different sizes of these steamers, and I want to just talk to you quickly about them. Now, the round steamer, which I am using today, I'm going to tell you why. I use this round steamer because the thickness of the outside is much thicker than this one. This is our multi-purpose steamer. There's nothing wrong with either, but because water weighs so much, my preference when you're making chowders or any kind of soups, anything that's really got some weight to it, get the round steamer out, okay? That's just my preference. And as I mentioned before, always make sure that when you're pulling things out of the microwave, that you make sure that the vents are away from you, because steam burns hurt like. Okay, so let's go get the chowder out of the microwave. Okay, so here we go. Now, you might be saying, okay, Jacqueline, you forgot the shrimp. No, I didn't forget the shrimp. We want to make sure that our chowder is basically cooked and thickening, because if we had put our shrimp in prior, it would have been hard and rubbery and not good. But you can see that this chowder has now got a really good base to it, right? The base is all ready to go. And taste amazing. So now all we're gonna do is make sure that your shrimp do not have the tails on and that they're cleaned up. And you're just going to put these in here, and we're just gonna pop them in the microwave again for just a couple minutes, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your microwave, just to make sure that these are cooked. You know they're cooked when they turn pink. Not every shrimp does turn pink, just FYI, depending on the brand. But we'll put this, and I am going to cook it now for 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your microwave, uncovered. This is going to make your soup a little bit thicker, okay? And then we're gonna plate it. Okay, so that's in for this final last couple minutes. As you can see, it does take a little bit of time to make the soup, but it's really not labor intensive. Set your timer. When you hear the ding ding on the microwave, come back, do the next part, go back, put it in the microwave, come back. And in a short few minutes of actual working in the kitchen, you'll be done. Now, I did mention that what you could put on, if you're West Coast totally, you could put our better than bacon. Now, why is it better than bacon? Well, because it's not got all that extra fat, for one, but this is going to have the taste of bacon, but it's a vegan version. So it's going to have, it's made with pinto beans, soy, sunflower oil, salt, yeast extract. That is basically it. And these are pinto beans shaved right down. It literally tastes like baked potatoes. The other thing is, if you want to kick it up a notch, we have this really great product called chili flakes and garlic. So when you're looking at this one, a little goes a very long way. So if you've got children, maybe you're not wanting to put so much of this on it, but I'm going to totally tell you that this, for the adult version, and it's just Dawn and I here, that is what we're going to do. So get a plate ready. This is just the bacon bits I wanted to show you. You do not need to put bacon bits in first. Chowder, this is our ladle. Again, it's in our kitchen utensil. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. As I mentioned before, I love the round steamer because it is a lot sturdier. Last thing I want to do is have you, spill this on you. And your shrimp should be nice and pink. If you're finding as you're ladling through here that your shrimp is not cooked, make sure you pop it back in the microwave for another minute. Again, you don't want to overcook it. Literally, this chowder's been in the microwave for a fair amount of time, that just probably the heat from this chowder will cook your shrimp. So check everything, look at the thickness of it. I can tell that my shrimp is done absolutely perfect. So all we're going to do now is, let's see if I can plate it without making a total mess. You can see our potatoes, our corn, our peas. If you want to kick it up a notch, you just put a little bit of your chili flakes on. And certainly last but not least, I would totally, rather than those Worcester crackers, which I could not find, I would totally sprinkle some of my better than bacon on top. And you have a perfect chowder for your family to enjoy. So just remember, making soup is not difficult. It can be done in the microwave. Your steamer is going to be your absolute best friend. Look at how much it made. And you can tuck this aside, put it in the fridge. You could even freeze it if you wanted to. So hope you enjoyed today's cooking class.